Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a social nonprofit initiative by think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Maisa Sarkis, and I interview businesses from around the world. This time, it will be in Rwanda. So let's go for a trip together. And my guest today is Greg Bakunzi. So tell everyone who's watching, what do you do as a business?
What I do as a business, as Mike has told you, my name is Gregory Bakunzi. I am involved in community-based tourism in the northern part of Rwanda, and I have been in the tourism industry for the last 18 years. So I came up with an organization called Red Rocks Rwanda, which is a social enterprise. And the whole of idea was to see how the local communities can really be benefiting from the tourism that has been growing in our country.
So the tourism is growing, and you started, when we were talking, you told me that Red Rocks was launched in 2016, and then you had an initiative embedded in 2018. So where are you based for everyone to learn more and to connect with you? So where can we find you?
I'm based in the northern part of Rwanda, which is 2 hours drive from the capital city, Kigali. So I'm just based next to the mountain, to the chain of the mountain. We call it a home of the mountain gorillas anyway. So that's the name we give it to it because it's more famous for the gorilla tracking.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. It's a new fact for me. So this is an organization initiative located in the north, in the mountain, to attract tourism and maybe local people to be more curious and discover the nature and the sights and the beauty in this place. Tell me, how many people do you have who help you at work?
Yeah, at the moment during the COVID-19, we tried really to have like a few people who are working with us, and most of the people that are working with us are really like volunteers. So they are not really people that are employed. We have 5 people who are working in our organization, and but before we had more than 20 dealing with people that in those.
So Greg is telling us that he rely on networks and contact in the area. And since it's a nonprofit initiative, he relies on volunteers in this region. So can you hear me? I'm not sure about the connection, but
Can you hear me?
yes, now I can hear
No,
you. Yeah. So Gregory,
okay,
you were
good.
telling us that before the lockdown, if I heard you correctly, you had more than 20, around 20 employees who were helping in this initiative and on board. And then because of COVID, which will come later in our discussion, you are now into a team of 5. And it's more about they join for a volunteer and be for a social cause. How many customers did you have before the pandemic and in 2016 and 2018?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Before we used to have more, like in a year, we could get between 1,500 to 2,700 customers that were coming to our center to do the activities that we operate on the ground. But since last year in May, we haven't really got any. We also think that the whole of 2021 is also going to be like that. So there's no much expectation in the future of our tourism, maybe unless when the vaccine comes in. So that's what we are expecting.
Yeah, for sure. Because when I was talking to you earlier, you said you are an advocate and an activist when it comes to ecotourism, and that's why you've been a president for the Community of Ecotourism Association, and you've collaborated with many projects, and the business have took a lot of awards just for the fact of enhancing a sustainable tourism and development in Rwanda, and this by itself is promising. However, the sector, as you mentioned, was maybe doing well before knowing that a pandemic would hit the world and Rwanda would be affected. So moving forward, we're gonna talk about, we need to talk about the lockdown. So how did the lockdown, from a business perspective and an owner who works in an industry that relies on mobility and is about going outside and just doing activities and enjoying nature, and how was your business affected?
Yeah, my business was affected like other businesses around the world that were affected. But we did not really lose hope. We kept on like carrying on some workshops with different community members that we are working with. We also tried really to be closer to them and informing them that, they shouldn't even be giving up, that things are going to turn up to be good in the future. So all what we were doing was a kind of like trying to keep on reorganizing ourselves, and also trying to keep our previous customers into the loop that we still exist. Because sometimes they may think, oh, the industry is no longer, this company is no longer, operating. So we kept on really, we tried to keep ourselves even during the lockdown. We kept ourselves on the different social medias that we use. And also we started really, trying to link up with different small organizations around the world so that, they know who we are, they know that we still exist. So that's how we kept ourselves during the lockdown.
Well, I like the way how you put it because people have assumptions, and you try to break down barriers by informing others that you're still operating, and but just in a different way. So, what other challenges did you have during the lockdown where you thought that if you continue or you change this path, it will have a positive impact or would work for you and the industry?
And the biggest challenge was, as you can see, as we kept on like informing most of our clients and our previous clients through the social media thing. Yeah, the biggest challenge at the moment is of being able to get some funding to do the digital marketing like the way how we used it to keep it. We are doing it locally. We are doing it because some companies, some social media platforms, they charge us. They want us to pay them, and we are not able to do that because we don't have any clients coming. So that's the biggest challenge. Otherwise, we would really like to keep on like reaching to different people around the world. And the other biggest challenge also, which goes with the digital marketing, is if we are thinking of building like a strong collaboration with other organizations that are doing the same thing as us, we need to be able at least to pay certain people to be able to work on our digital marketing and keep on putting our name outside there.
For sure, because one thing I've noticed that you rely on contacts in the area and acknowledge the skills and the capabilities in your network, and an ecosystem would only grow, especially the tourism would heal, if people who are all happy and have ideas, they can collaborate and take part in this project. So how do you try to attract customers? We can call them customers and in the end. So they are people who would like to just do other activities and beside indoor. So how do you attract the customers and they join and seek out?
Yeah, the way how we are keeping on attracting the customers is to sit down and see what areas can we put into our previous products. you know, like if we were having like 2 to 3 programs, what kind of new programs are we going to come up with? If things turn out to be good, industry. So we are trying to see how we can build some new programs, develop new initiatives that are going to be up on the market. So that's how we are trying to attract different people from different world, and also coming for, you know, other experiences. People, we don't know what is going to make them happy, but we are just trying to find them together, you know, by creating a more tourism product on top of what we had in the past.
Correct, because you need to build upon past, and for to understand what attracts people, you need to get insights. And from there, I recall that you told me that you try, when you do it, you believe that the local community is empowered through discussion, communication, and education. So speaking about that, do you know how your customers and competition are doing during these difficult and challenging times?
Some of them, they keep on like contacting us. We always see them, they contact us through the social media that we are able to be using at the moment. But I can't tell you how everybody is or how the others are doing. But what I know, they are all still there, and all what they want is they want to travel. You know, they still want to get out from the lockdown. I myself, I would say if I have been in lockdown for a month or 2 months, I just need to go out to go in the nature and just enjoy the nature or go for a walk. Some people are going to go for a hike. So, you know, so I think there will be so many things that people are going to be doing when they open up. So, but at the moment, I know that those who keep in touch with us, they still say, hey, are you open, guys? You know, are you still working? You know, so they just want to know things like that. So we keep in touch like that.
And I know for sure that when the lockdown was at ease, many people I've seen going outside. They just were eager to see the outside world and connect to nature, as you mentioned, because for me, it's one of the activities that help me clear my mind, uh, help me stay focused and see. Just when I want to just seek peace, nature is one of the contributors to that. So I'm sure that you're trying to motivate and encourage this behavior more.
That's right. That's right.
And if we are going to talk about competition, how's your competition doing? Have you reached out to them? Do you know anything about their status?
I think I can't say that the competition is that big, because those people who were, most of the people who were kind of in this industry, some of them might have you know, maybe some of them could not be able to cope up and say, let us stay in the game, let us stay here until really good. But I'm just thinking, and from what I'm seeing, because I don't get to see them more active, you know, trying really to keep active on their social medias, where most of us meet and discuss. I don't know whether they decided to say, let us put our business on hold maybe for the next 2 years. Then after 2 years, maybe they can resume it. You know, there are people, everybody has got his own way, kind of strategic way of getting prepared or getting out from the business. But what I would really encourage the people is just like, you need to stay in the game, you know, until when things really, we never know where things are going to go, but we still have a hope that everything is going really to work out well. We might not go back like the same way we used it to, but we can still really, keep in touch with like people networking, like people, like the interview we are doing,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
agree.
how many people are going to see this, but whoever sees this, they might be interested in maybe what Red Rocks is doing. They might be interested in one, maybe they can borrow a leaf from me and they can also borrow a leaf from with you right now.
Mhm. I agree with you. It's important to just realize that things might not go back to the way we are used to, but there are many different routes and paths we can explore. And as you mentioned, it's just about communication, figuring out what would work in terms of business strategy. The industry of tourism definitely it's a big topic, and there's many elements involved. But you figured it out, you figured ways, and you're still exploring, and this is what I'm going to talk about. So for your business, for Red Rocks, you have things going on at the moment, and you always look forward. This is what I've seen, and from the awards, from the previous encounters, to reach out not only to Rwanda. You've been talking about what do you do as a business, and promoting that in many platforms worldwide. So I'm sure you have something in store. Can you tell us what are you planning forward for your business?
Yeah, what I'm really planning for my future business is to keep on like, to still keep myself very active on the different social medias. And the other thing is to keep on like trying to find some people that I can collaborate with. And also, this is a long journey that I can't just take by myself. But as I have mentioned before, that we have some volunteers working here. It would also be great to have some external volunteers or who are working remotely, like the way how we are working, so that they can keep on like, we keep on
Mm.
like supporting one another. So it's in that way that I'm seeing the keeping yourself in a very active on different social medias, and also working out to build a strong collaboration with other um, NGOs. This could be the way forward.
Yeah, for sure. So if you want to sum, because you mentioned bits and pieces about things that you need help with, I'm gonna sum some of them, and you tell me if I got it right or not. So one thing is you are looking for additional volunteers to join on board, correct?
Yes,
And the second is help in digital marketing, and the third it would be financial support.
yes.
Anything else you'd like to add to the three things that you see now are crucial for your business to grow?
I think those are the most important things. The others can just maybe come in the business, maybe for the next, say, 2 to 3 years, even though things we don't know when things are going to be better, but at least let us assume that we have like 2 to 3 years where we can keep on moving.
For sure. And do you have anything inspiring to tell everyone who's watching, especially those who are from the industry that you are in, and perhaps they need inspiration or they need to reach out to you? Can you tell us
I
something?
mean, yeah, the only thing I can say, tourism is an industry that it's not only about the adventure. It's an industry that has got it's an endless industry that has got a lot of opportunities, and it has got, of course, some challenges uh, and adventures. So the most important thing is, as human being who knows how big this industry is, the only thing we need to be in and be really strong with it is to know that when the challenges comes in, we shouldn't really even really think it's the end of the business. It might be the beginning of other opportunities that are hidden in the industry. So we have to keep our fingers there, and don't give up right away as, then keep going. So we should not be giving up fast and close out the businesses and expecting that, it's a gone business. So, because we never know what is in front, because as I have said, it's an endless business. So we are going to we might come up with new opportunities, new ways of operating, but we keep the business going.
I agree with you. It's a very bright perspective. With that, I would like to thank you so much for joining and being a guest. So for now, I would say thank you and stay tuned for many more interesting interviews from around the world.